this one's not gonna work. But like, I literally, this sounds crazy, but like, I get like, I would have been married like 5 times over for all the times that guy would come and say, hey, marry me. And I'm like, no, marry me, no. But it gets to a point where you're like, are you the problem? Like, why do you keep saying no to these men? But I also know that, you know, I don't know if I've prayed about it, obviously, but maybe I'm not praying right, you know.
But all the people that I met, I thought was the one, right? I always thought was the one, even the ones who loved God. But at that time, now that I think about it, I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know until I knew, until I dedicated my life to God and say, I want to dedicate, because I've been born again like 500 times over. But I was like, this time around, it's for real. I don't want to go back to where I used to be. I want to have a relationship with God. And then we said it online so many times. I wrote a list of what I wanted in a man. Till today, I still can't find my list, but I remember what was on there was, I said, dear God, I want a man who's after your own heart. A man that puts only you me there. I don't want to be there. And I didn't want a relationship which was true of my previous relationships where I put that relationship before God. Now, once I knew what I wanted, right? And I wrote it down and made my request to God. Trust me, like even now, I still keep asking, how is it that I saw this man? I didn't know anything about him. I didn't know his middle name. I didn't know his date of birth. I didn't know he could sing, cook. I didn't know anything about him except he was resourceful. If you guys hear the story later, and I said, hey, will you marry me? Some people would say that's the stupidest thing ever. You ever heard a preacher on the pulpit say, I was meant to preach such and such, but people told me I preached this. I had no idea. Why? Because the Holy Spirit was ministering through me that opened my mouth and said, hey, will you marry me?
Look inward and see if you're really prepared for marriage. It will come to pass. For real though. Look inward. Your very boy, Pastor Frank.